What I have is an actual television. It's an Element 4K television that has the Fire OS built into it. It's pretty sweet. And it talks. The whole thing talks.
Sometimes when you deal with mainstream companies, of course, the guy in India swears that the screen reader works. I'll find out.
The other app that I like on the Mac is Microsoft Word.
Did anybody else have theirs set up in the Apple Store and punch the Apple employee when he asks you your weight?
You guys are spelling all these things, so I don't understand, right?
I got the AirPods, which I am in love with. I mean, it's just great.
Is that when you speed it up, the audio quality degrades terribly in Downcast. And in Overcast, there's literally no loss of quality the faster you go.
She listens so fast, she's already heard this podcast.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you remember when Apple used to take things that were already out there and make them better?
Apple will show you how to do it right. Don't worry. They always do.
I can't wait to wake up before I go to the Echo, and the new waking up to music was actually the number one request for the Echo devices.
It's called A Hero's Call, and it's a immersive fantasy RPG made by Out of Sight Games. They are actual people who used to be sighted game players who lost vision, and now they have wanted to develop a game that blind and sighted people could play together.
So you guys ready?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
3, 2, 1. Welcome back to yet another episode of That Blind Tech Show. That's right, we're taking you right through the holidays this year. Allison, what do you got planned for the holidays?
I am going to hang out at home and watch Christmas movies, starting with Love Actually and Die Hard, which are totally Christmas movies.
The ultimate question, Jeff, is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
Yes, I just heard it from Allison about 10 seconds ago.
Actually, it's a big Twitter debate. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? Which I say yes. Obviously, Allison says yes, and it is the greatest Christmas movie.
The very best. Yeah.
GOAT. I know the kids nowadays are using that term, GOAT.
Oh, they are? See, I'm old. I don't know any of that now.
Greatest of all time.
Oh, greatest of all. Oh, yeah, it is GOAT. Wow. Okay.
It is the GOAT.
What is greatest of all time? Oh, I get it.
Muhammad Ali?
This ain't millennials. This is the iGen.
Jeff, are you already hitting the eggnog?
I'm good at math. This spelling thing, I didn't.
It's after 5. You can hit the eggnog if you want.
That's right.
And I can pretend it's after 5.
Well, I was rocking a Diet Dr. Pepper, but in the fun of getting this show started, I drank the whole thing with my.
Oh well.
The new Skype. If you're not running the new Skype, and the funny thing about the new Skype, I chose not to upgrade it on my laptop, and after we recorded in Florida, it decided to upgrade on its own.
Yeah, mine did too, because I specifically asked it not to auto-update, but Microsoft, in their infinite wisdom, decided, no, let's have you update, and now it sucks really majorly. I hate it. I hate everything about it.
Yeah, it's terrible. In fact, this might be our last show that we record on this Skype.
We're going to be switching to Zoom Cloud Meetings, which is so much better.
You guys don't like the new dark mode?
Oh, yeah. It's all dark mode to me, babe.
If I hear Skype busy one more time, I may go on a 3-state killing spree. What caused you to do this? The new Skype and voiceover?
Busy.
Busy. Oh, God, it's the word. And it's funny because one part of Microsoft can be so awful, such as the people that are doing the updates to Skype for the Mac. Then you've got the great team that's doing all the updates to Narrator and everything. Then you've got the great people that are doing the updates to SeeingAI, Microsoft SeeingAI on the iPhone, which came out with a really nice update that I have not gotten to test everything. But in theory, the update, the new colors and handwriting mode, which I'm dying to check out. And of course, now I don't have anything that's been written. But Jeff, you told me the handwriting mode, not so great, huh?
To me, it's kind of a little bit of a novelty. I tried a Christmas card, and I've heard a lot of people say, hey, I read the whole card. Now, that might have been printing in there, but the people that write me handwritten letters, like on the front, it didn't do a good job on that. So I'm...
Do you get a lot of Christmas cards from doctors? Because that might have something to do with it.
Yeah. Don't get well soon.
I've been told my handwriting's worse than a doctor.
I've been looking at a lot of pictures on Twitter with SeeingAI, and a lot of them have included handwriting, and it's been good enough that I've at least been able to glean what it says, which is amazing when you think about it.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. And Jeff, what's wrong with your friends? Don't they know you're blind and not to send you handwritten Christmas cards? I mean, come on.
Oh, I said friends. I meant family.
Oh. Yeah, I don't even scan who things are from. I just open it and say bill that's not getting paid and bills that are getting paid and everything. But I've told all my friends and family that if they send me something in handwriting, like a Christmas card, that I will issue a fatwa on them. So we get no handwritten mail here.
Have you noticed, though, in the blindness area, I can teach friends things, friends catch on and everything like that, but family is like the slowest ones to catch on.
Yes.
My parents are like, oh, you have a podcast? Yeah, it's my second one, believe it or not. And then they say, well, what's a podcast? But yeah, the one thing I tested out was the color recognition, which, of course, I had no clue what I was wearing, but it seemed to be, it got the couch color right and everything. So that was kind of cool. And I love the money, the little disclaimer on the money recognition, where it's like, if you use this, it may not be accurate. So ask a sighted person. It's like, wait,
It's just like, what the hell's the point then?
Yeah, it's hold on. You're sitting right here, but let me scan this with my.
Yeah.
I think I'll stick with Money Reader, which is a fantastic app. It's simplistic. It just opens and does the trick and everything.
I found out the other day though that Money Reader does depend a lot on lighting as well, and our house is pretty dark even with the lights that we have on.
I always do it in the dark, and it works perfect for me.
No, for me it was like low light. It kept yelling at me. So.
But it still scans the money. Yeah.
That's the opposite of the gremlins. Bright light, bright light.
Like maybe I'm drinking the eggnog a little slow here and everything. And
sorry, this was movie and film related, Brian.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that. I need to take Gremlin's advice and never eat after midnight. But anyway, this was a nice. It's if they get everything working, and it is. I guess a 2.0 version of this app. But it really now is like the Swiss Army knife of blind tech apps and everything. It's got everything. I really love the short text. And something I noticed, I went in and played with, it's the first app I think I've seen where you could do this, where for your Force Touch, you can edit what shortcuts you put in there and everything. So I put the short text in there as well as color, and I'm not sure, I think I might have put document in there as well and everything, which is kind of cool to be able to customize that.
Interesting. Yeah.
I was shocked when you told me about that. Really shocked that short text wasn't the number one thing, because that's my favorite feature of the
I love the short text.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The rest of the stuff to me is more novelty a little bit because it's in its infancy, but at least they got something going, and it can only get better, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Just like Skype.
Since we're getting towards the end of the year, my New Year's resolution to go with the mainstream America is to start sexually harassing in 2018. So maybe they could put in the app if somebody's attractive or not or something, Then help me with that resolution. Since we last recorded, hell obviously froze over. Jeff and I recorded a short demo of the Amazon Prime video, which has now come to the Apple TV. I've been waiting so long for this thing to come out so I'd start watching stuff on there. And of course, I've yet to watch anything. I did play around with it. I know there's been some people on Twitter that really didn't think it was that great, but I thought it was pretty fantastic 1.0. What did you think, Allison?
So now I use Netflix on the Amazon TV, and it works just fine. And I use my Amazon Prime either on the Amazon TV or the phone. So I don't even have my Apple TV hooked up right now.
Now, what is an Amazon TV?
Okay, so there's several types. There's the Fire TV stick, which plugs into the back of your existing TV in an HDMI port. And then it's just like a set-top box almost that allows you to access a lot of the same features as the Apple TV with some little extra Amazon stuff thrown in it. It has Lady A and everything. They do make a set-top box as well, but I've not seen that. But what I have is an actual television. It's an Element 4K television that has the Fire OS built into it. And so I've got it up there on my wall in the second bedroom, and it's pretty sweet. And it talks. The whole thing talks.
Even when you go into Netflix?
Even when I go into Netflix. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the one downside of the TiVo, which I use. It's amazing to me that we all are using mainstream devices to get our television and entertainment, and none of us are doing it the same way, because I use the TiVo, and the TiVo came out, last December with their first screen reader, which is fantastic. They haven't really made any updates to it. It'd be nice to see them play around with the volume, because the volume's way too loud. And TiVo recently just came out, and I just got it with the first talking remote that you can talk to kind of like Siri on the Apple TV and find search results. And I'm going through the software update right now because you have to have the new software update to use the remote. So unfortunately, it's not active yet. But it's great to see that they finally did this. And my first call to TiVo was to make sure that the new software actually worked with the screen reader, because it was much more important to make sure the screen reader worked. And sometimes when you deal with mainstream companies, of course, the guy in India swears that the screen reader works with the new software. So I'll find out updates. But, from an interesting standpoint, we've spoken before about blind people complaining about updates and stuff and breaking stuff. Well, the sighted community, they complained so much to TiVo, I guess, about the last software update that TiVo no longer automatically updates their software. You have to go in and request the update and they'll get to you, which I found really fascinating. That because the sighted community, and they were telling me that a lot of people had an issue. You're going to laugh when you hear this. Well, the TiVo logo changed and the sighted community did not like that. Don't you wish that was the big problem that we had? Well, I really can't stand the new logo.
Talk about first world problems. Jeez.
You guys didn't even notice my haircut.
I know. I'm sorry. You look great, Jeff.
Goes good with the new mustache.
Well, what you were talking about, we all do things differently, and you were just talking about television and how we access it. We're all used to different. Even in the public schools, even in the educational system and all that, there's teachers and systems that are still out there that think that because we're blind, we only do things one way.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah, that's caveman style thinking.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, those people are still clubbing their women over the hair and dragging them around.
There you go with your sexual harassment right there.
I was saying that would probably fall under things that not to do and everything, but
or things to do in 2018 for your New Year's resolution.
Yeah,
that's true. And before you write in and complain, no, I'm not serious. I am not looking forward to sexually harassing. So you can stop those complaints. But if you do want to write in, comment, or ask us a question, you can go ahead and do that at thatblindtechshow@gmail.com or tweet us in just @blindtechshow. So I can't wait to wake up before I go to the Echo, and the new waking up to music was actually the #1 request for the Echo devices. Have you guys done this? Have you guys woken up to music yet on the Echo devices?
I have not, because I would sleep through it. I would sleep right through it.
Putting one in the bedroom, and the wife is like, really? You're putting one in the bedroom? I said, you push the button. You don't have to have it listening all the time.
You have one of the button? What do you mean you press the button? Oh, you could set it to press the button instead of listening all the time?
Right, so you push the button to ask it a question. Well, let me enlighten you. Take your dot. Where the power cord goes in, let's call that 6 o'clock. Right above there, you will find the plus volume button. So at 12 o'clock, you have the minus volume button. And at 9 o'clock, you're going to have what they call the action button. So you can just press that button and you don't have to say the A lady word or whatever word you have to activate the dot. And on the right-hand side, at 3 o'clock, is the microphone button. That's the on and off. So if you hit that once and then try saying the word and it doesn't work, that means your microphone's off. Hit it again, it'll come back on. So while the microphone's off, your action button doesn't work. But if you're just sitting there and you don't want to have to say that, you just reach over, touch that action button, and then ask your question.
I love having the Echo in the bedroom, and everything I do in there can be heard by all the recording of the Echo devices and everything.
I've been dropping in, Brian.
I noticed. You do a quick drop in on me and everything, and that's why I'm thankful you're blind, so you can't see what I'm doing.
Well, that's why I found out you're inventing that new game for 2018, Whack-A-Mole.
Yeah.
Whack-A-Mole. Okay, on that note. But no, if you haven't done this and you're looking to do this, it's pretty cool because there's no set one way of doing it. You could say set a wake up. You could say wake up to WFAN Sports Radio, and then it'll ask you what time you'd like to be woken up. Or you could just say it all and say, wake me up at 10:45 a.m. to WFAN Sports Radio, and they both work. And that's right, I do wake up that late because...
Man, I'd be late for work.
There is that.
You're one of those employed blind people.
One of those 8 to 5 people. Yeah.
Remember back in the good old days when it used to be 9 to 5?
9 to 5, and your break was included in that, and your lunch was included in that, and now it sucks.
That's where the 8 comes in, because your lunch isn't included anymore.
Yeah.
They even made a horrible movie called 9 to 5 with Dolly
really
Parton.
awful.
Oh, it's terrible. And they kidnap. Actually, I think that was about sexual harassment. They kidnapped Dabney Coleman because he was always sexually harassing them and making their lives hell. But it was a really terrible 80s movie with a even more terrible song in the movie.
The song was kind of catchy, but the movie was bad. Yeah.
So Apple reportedly bought this search engine for podcasts, which I think is a great thing because that podcast app of Apple's really needs a lot of improvement.
Yeah.
I thought it was a spoof on that they just bought Google. Remember when Google bought Apple for 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm surprised Apple hasn't just bought Downcast or Overcast. Is it Overcast or Outcast or Outdoor or Back?
Overcast. I don't think Marco would sell. He's got enough of his own money.
Oh, does he? Where did he make his money?
He made his money when he sold Instapaper. He's either a multimillionaire or at least a billionaire. He got all kinds of money, does Marco. Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd think he'd make a lot of money off the licensing of his Smart Speed, that speech engine. Ah, that's perfect.
Oh, the smart speed and the voice boost. Yeah, that's all his own engine. And I think he does utilize the Apple podcast directory for searches. So it's good that they'll be improving because that can only help him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it drives me nuts when I search for a podcast and I know it's out there and Downcast can't find it or something, and then you have to go. I've tried using the URL, from the podcast. It's just never successfully worked. But
that's why you got to switch to Overcast, Brian. Overcast is way better.
I waited so long for that Downcast update that now it'd be hard to switch. But I had issues with Overcast because I had so many podcast feeds that every time I reinstall it, it just keeps loading and never finishes because it's trying to load years worth of podcasts or something. So I guess I'd have to figure out a way to start fresh. But I always had an issue with that and everything. And since the Downcast has been updating, I've been very, very happy with it.
Have they done anything about audio quality though? Because that's my biggest gripe, is that when you speed it up, the audio quality degrades terribly in Downcast, and in Overcast, there's literally no loss of quality the faster you go.
I don't believe they have, but I'm only at a 1.5 or 2. I'm not.
See, I get it as fast as you can. It's 2.9. You turn on the voice boost or the smart speed, then it's above 3 or slightly above.
Hey, Brian, she listens so fast, she's already heard this podcast.
Right.
Yeah. It's just,
I won't
what
tell
are we
you how it
talking
ends.
about next?
That's my go-to one, the Overcast, because of what Downcast was doing and the speed. I don't notice any difference in it when I'm listening to it.
Nope.
It's funny. I don't think I've ever met anybody that says, yeah, I use the native podcast app to listen to podcasts.
I know very few people who use it.
Do you remember when Apple used to take things that were already out there and make them better?
It would Sherlock. Yeah, I wish they would Sherlock something for the podcast.
Well,
now.
let's
Jeez.
see what they do with Shazam. They just purchased Shazam now.
I thought they had already bought it because you can already ask Siri, what is this song? So maybe they'll just make it even better.
Yeah, I don't know if they bought another company to get the feature that Siri does now to identify a song, but now with Shazam, they can cut off suggesting Spotify for a music resource.
Oh, I see. Apple Music, yeah.
And Allison, Apple has actually bought so many companies, they forgot about a lot of them, so they're buying them a second time.
So they bought Shazam twice. And Shazam, they're not dummies. They're like, yeah, we'll take the extra $400 million, of course.
Exactly, yeah.
You didn't buy us already. What are you talking about?
Well, like in 2013 when Apple bought Wi-Fi Slam, the indoor navigation company.
The indoor navigation is interesting, though. I've not had a chance to try it.
Is that located in Maps?
Yeah, and apparently certain airports now have it. So the next time I fly, I want to try it.
34 airports and malls. So I bet that mall near you, Jeff, probably has indoor navigation.
Actually, the malls aren't listed. They just say the cities, and Minneapolis, St. Paul wasn't listed.
Oh, my goodness.
But the thing is, the airports they do list, and Minneapolis, St. Paul is listed there. So I started hunting. I went to Maps, and I didn't see it. So maybe it's something that turns on when
you're there.
Yeah.
And to our younger listeners, a mall is a place people used to go that was a brick and mortar store that had lots of stores before Amazon existed.
Yeah.
I was actually at a mall this holiday season, and the day after Thanksgiving, it actually wasn't even that crowded.
Wow.
Did you see Santa?
I sat on his lap, and then Santa said, I'm done for the day.
Santa felt sexually harassed.
Yeah. I told him what I wanted, and Christmas came early, which we'll get into a little later. But, we don't ask you to send us cash, but you can now send it through a text message. Yeah. I think that's pretty cool to send it to a friend, that if a friend lends you money or you need to send somebody money. I have yet to try it, but I did notice, it appeared on all places with the text message and everything. Mm-hmm. When I teach some of my people, the iPhone and everything, I'll say, oh, well, why don't you just pay me through that handy dandy application, which I think is great. That's a nice little new feature and everything. And
it is.
You got cash.
Yeah,
It was really interesting. My daughter was up. We did Christmas early, and she was sending some pictures back. So she went to her text. So she was using my phone to grab some pictures off of it. And she goes, hey, you can send me money. And I was like, whoa, wait a second. But the other person has to be using Apple Pay themselves, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, both people have to have it.
Yeah, now, Jeff, do you do other holidays early, like Thanksgiving and Labor Day?
Arbor Day. Always early.
You know what my favorite holiday of the year?
Huh.
Groundhog's Day. It's my birthday, so.
Hey.
Yeah, national. If I got stuck in that movie, it'd be my birthday every day.
Oh, man. That wouldn't be so bad. Mine is Festivus for the rest of us.
I actually, shockingly, as I mentioned, Christmas came early here where I finally broke down and joined the dark side. I went out and got the Apple Watch.
Hey.
Yeah, and my first few minutes, I was like, wow, this thing sucks because the volume, I turned it up to 100%.
Yeah.
I barely hear voiceover. And then I called Jeff and he didn't know. And then when I jumped on the phone with Allison, and Allison's like, well, have you turned the voiceover volume to 100%? And it's amazing because it was already set at 80%. And it was that low. So it's like, you're only going to use it on 100%. And, but it was, once I got the volume to 100%, I'm definitely liking it and everything.
In everybody's defense here, when you go in and try it on the Apple Watch, there's 2 settings for the volume.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I didn't mean that as a negative thing. I didn't know either, Jeff.
The thing about the Apple Watch is you don't just get it and set it up and go with it. It takes a few months to figure out how you're going to acclimate yourself with this cool, neat device.
You're always kind of tinkering with it. I mean, I've had one for a couple of years now, and I'm still kind of figuring out new ways that it can fit into my workflow.
Did anybody else have theirs set up in the Apple store and punch the Apple employee when he asks you your weight?
No, but I shut off automatic app downloads to the watch.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, man, it was like I had too many. It was unusable. There's so many.
Yeah, I want to be really selective about the notifications that I get, and I want to be really selective about the apps that it installs, because quite frankly, I don't really use a whole lot beyond the stock apps that it comes with, because I mainly am using it for just checking the occasional notification, checking the occasional message, replying maybe, and then doing like some fitness stuff. I don't want to say like I'm not really that into it, but trying.
One of the things that stinks about the Apple Watch, though, is that it goes on your wrist, and when you buy it in winter and you have a constrictive jacket that goes all the way over your wrist so air doesn't get in, it's kind of hard to use the Apple Watch when you're out and about. So,
it keeps going off. You start moving your wrist, go reach for your bus pass or something. It's going off, and it's like blah, 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 blah.
I turned Raise to Wake off. That was the first thing I turned off because I didn't like that. And then the one thing I do love, though, is when you're listening to a podcast is that the downcast pops up automatically on the watch. So that's pretty cool.
The player controls, I like that too. That you can use that in almost any app, for Audible, for Overcast, for music. It's really, really handy. I have Raise to Wake on because you can have it not speak every time. And I like it for using Hey SIRI. I can just raise my wrist and talk to her.
Oh, how do you enable Hey SIR on the watch? I have to push the crown to.
I want to say she's already enabled, but somewhere in the SIRI settings would be.
I'll have to check that out and everything.
I think it goes off of whatever's on your phone.
You guys are spelling all these things, so I don't understand, right?
I was just thinking we were confusing some listeners.
Get the dog a TREAT.
Or take him to the VET, yeah.
One of the things about the watch that I don't use very much is answering the phone on it, because I don't have one of those slings, like if you break your collarbone, to hold your arm up for 5 minutes while you're talking.
I've yet to make a phone call on the watch or answer. I did try to do the 2-finger double tap on the watch, and it didn't answer.
That doesn't work. You have to find the answer button.
Okay. Yeah. So, and it's just so people know, the 2-finger double tap to play and pause audio does not work either on the watch.
I'm curious, Allison, do you like answering the phone on the watch?
I've not really done it for more than like little short calls to talk to the Uber driver or something, but it I don't mind it, for those types of things.
Right, exactly.
Speaking of Uber, have you guys noticed that it no longer text messages you?
No, it doesn't. And there's supposedly this feature that I cannot find where you can tell it to look for you in your approximate location rather than an actual address. And I cannot get it to, like, I'll be in the trip screen and I can't switch it to approximate location at once. Because there's times where I'm like on the side of the building or where the street is like really far away from the actual main entrance. So and people have been using that and I don't know where you go to switch that. Maybe I have to look in settings.
After you place your call, why don't you try doing a single finger double tap and hold and slide your finger up, because then you can pull more of the screen into view. That's how I found some information that I didn't see before.
Oh, I don't use it that much anymore because I walk to and from work. And that's a lot of my daily travel is work related, and restaurants around here are pretty much walking distance. My husband uses it a lot. Jeremy, he uses it to go to dialysis, but for what he wants to do, it works.
One thing I've yet to get to work on the Apple Watch is Twitterific. I keep getting an error message, unable to connect to. So have you successfully used Twitterific on the watch?
Honestly, I haven't tried. If I'm going to use an app, I'm going to use my phone.
What about yourself, Jeff?
No, I don't use too many apps right on the watch, but when that play stream comes up, when I'm listening to music or something, I wish that I could check out the artist, because I'm listening to something and I said, gosh, who is this?
It doesn't give the artist information.
You need Shazam on the watch.
Yeah.
Coming soon. Soon.
Hopefully.
Now, the thing that shocked me was there was no app for quickly posting to Facebook on the watch, which was really surprising.
No, but what you could use, there's an app called Double Post that's available on the phone and the watch, where you can use it to post to Twitter and Facebook together. Or, I do a Twitter post now. I do Twitter posts in Twitterific, and I just do hashtag. I have it set up so that I can just do hashtag FB, and it will also go to Facebook. It's the nicest, because then I don't even have to. I don't check Facebook that often.
How do you do that hashtag FB? Is that something you?
So you have to go into. I just searched on the web for selective tweets, and then you go to the homepage for the actual selective tweets app in Facebook. It's kind of interesting because you put in your Twitter username, and it's like, okay, great, we will monitor tweets for this Twitter username. So it doesn't like ask you to verify who you are or anything. It's just like,
oh, so I could then post to other people's. I'll check that out and everything. Yeah.
There's another resolution for 2018, Bryan.
Hack everybody's Twitter. That's right.
Well, I bought an app called Drafts, which I thought I read would allow you to post to Facebook or Twitter or anything you wanted, and I've yet to figure that I've got to.
There are ways to do that. There's different action items. I don't know how to do it quickly though.
Oh, you're talking about Drafts?
For drafts, yeah.
Yeah, I can't figure it out. I played around with it real quick, and then
it's a very complicated. I like it for note taking though. I like it because it's like the old timey note takers where you open it up and you've got a blank document right there to write in.
Yeah. No, it's for the $4.99, and you get it on the phone and the watch. Because I made the plunge also when I got the watch, and I'm shocked because I didn't think I'd get them until the next gen came out. I got the AirPods, which I am in love with. I mean, it's just great.
Oh, that's cool.
Phone quality. I only use the right one, and the call quality is phenomenal. And Siri actually gets things right, and dictation works with it. I've used it with the watch as well as the phone, and it's so great just taking it out of the case, and it automatically pairs to the phone right away. It's just when you take it out, it pauses the music you're playing. My only concern is that I'm gonna lose them because they are tiny, and I know Jeff was telling me you could get a cord to attach the two of them, but that kind of then defeats the purpose.
Right.
I don't know if you could. I guess the cord probably wraps around the case or claps to the case, but I'm a big fan of them. I mean, they're really, really nice. The AirPods and everything.
Yeah, I'm thinking about getting a pair. I want to wait for the new generation to come out so that I can get the wireless charging case and then get the big wireless charger from Apple that'll do my phone and my watch and my AirPods together. But I have the Beats Solo 3 headphones and I like them, but they do not auto pair, depending. They don't just switch devices like the AirPods are supposed to. You have to switch manually. And they are big cans on your ears. They do block out a lot of sound. So you have to be careful where you use them. The battery life is phenomenal.
The AirPods do not manually switch. At least I have.
They don't? Oh, I thought that was the whole point.
When I go to use the watch, if I'm using them with the phone, I've actually had to pull down the control center and go to AirPlay, one finger double tap, and then select the AirPods, and then they switch. So I don't know where everybody was saying they just automatically switch. I thought if I was touching the phone, they'd be paired to the phone. Then if I was touching the watch, they'd automatically switch and the watch.
That was the impression that I got too.
Well, I know right now if you want them for Christmas, you'll have to wait till January 4th because I checked Best Buy. They're sold out, and on the Apple Store and stuff is sold out. But they said that some retailers might still have them available.
The AirPods are sold out again?
Yeah. They're sold out again for Christmas.
Yeah, I want the new ones. I'm waiting. I don't care how long it takes because I have a solution until then.
Yeah, and I have noticed I don't think the quality of the AirPods, if you are a music file, is that the word?
An audio file? Yeah.
Audio file. Yeah, the quality is not that much better than the wired ones that come with your pair. But I'm really only listening to podcasts, so I'm not a big music. The last new band I liked was Guns N' Roses, and
See, I love music, and that's my only complaint about the Beats is that they are a little bit like if you like hip hop, which I do. I'm not a rapper.
Hip hop.
Yeah, but
bang boogie.
But if you like that, which I do, then it's great. But if you want to listen to any other genre, which I love all genres, then it's a little too bassy for the others.
Jeff is a Blues Brothers music fan where they go to the country bar. They're like, what kind of music you got here? Oh, we got both kinds, country and Western. It's funny. The other day when I wanted to call TiVo, I did a quick Google search, and I just wanted their 800 number. So I'm just like, TiVo 800 number, and it would not give it to me. And then I remembered I have a great app called Get Human. I don't know if you guys have ever used this app, where all you have to do is type in any company, and it pulls up their 800 number.
Ooh, I need this app in my life. Yeah.
How many times have you gone to a website and you're like, I just want their phone number, and you even click on contact company,
and there's no phone number. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So Get Human, it works. I believe it's fully functional with voiceover. And it'll also tell you if you want to call directly from your phone. It'll tell you what numbers to press to quickly get to a person. Mm-hmm. It'll also tell you what the average wait time is to get to a person. So it's a pretty cool app. It's free, and I would definitely highly recommend it. But I figure we haven't spoken about apps in a while. Have you guys recently found any apps that you're just loving?
For me, nothing. I mean, obviously SeeingAI and Twitterific, but it's stuff that I've been using for a while. I love Audible. Audible is probably the one I use the most.
One of my favorites on the Mac right now is Twitterific 5 because, like Allison mentioned before, something on the Mac, you're just sitting there, you're doing some work, you can just take that 2-3 minute break and just go boom, 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 and, kind of check things out, and then you're back in it, and the shortcut commands are so sweet, just bang, I like it.
I like it for just sending a tweet.
Yeah, I was getting a lot of busy issues with Twitterific. Have you guys had that?
No, I've been using it since the betas, and I've not had a lot of trouble with that.
And that's probably my High Sierra, which it's gotten better, the last update, High Sierra, but I'm still not loving it like I was loving Sierra. I mean, the navigation when you're editing text in email has gotten a little better because I was very, very close to rolling back to a time machine backup. I still haven't decided. I may still do that and everything. I guess like you, Drafts is a new app that I just got. I guess I've been really focused on the things that I could do on the watch and everything since I recently got the watch 2 weeks ago. It keeps reminding me to stand and breathe, which are two things I really thought I knew how to do.
Yeah.
Obviously, I've been doing it wrong my whole life.
Yeah, Apple will show you how to do it right. Don't worry. They always do.
Well, I tell you, when I'm editing podcasts and stuff, and that stand comes up, it does make me think that I got to get up and walk around and stuff like that. So I've left it on. The other app that I like on the Mac is Microsoft Word. The only way to get information back and forth is through Word. And if this wasn't going to work, I was going to go out, buy a new laptop, get back. I have JAWS 18, but I don't have a laptop, so go figure. I just was using it, and it's working. I like it.
Apparently the 365, Office 365, which I have, is really good on the whole suite of apps is good on the Mac, so I'm probably going to install at least Word. I don't really need Outlook.
I've never used JAWS.
Wow.
Wow. Do you want to talk about this?
Yeah, we can have an intervention.
Let me lay down and
Okay.
I feel like I'm in a therapy session, which
Move over, Nash.
Nash is in the bedroom snoring away. I can hear him out here with headphones on. That's how loud he's snoring.
Just a word of advice for people, from my experiences. When my PC fried, I got a MacBook Pro and I went cold turkey because I didn't have the option. I learned it pretty quick. But it seems like when people use boot camp to learn JAWS or to get Microsoft on or vice versa, it seems like they never really take off and learn it too well because they always have that option to go back to what they know. So I like doing it cold turkey.
Yeah, I still have a few things, mainly games and stuff that I like to do on the PC. So I'm glad I have it as an alternative. If something for some reason just isn't working on the Mac, I can see how it compares on the PC or vice versa.
Is the PC still running XP? That was the last thing I used.
No, it's running Windows 10, which I actually really like.
I do have a laptop that a buddy of mine gave me, but I don't have JAWS, so I've used Windows Narrator and 10 a little, but I'm just so comfortable I used to be so comfortable on the Mac before High Sierra. So anyway, I don't know. Maybe I should take another look at that laptop, which I probably have not opened in a year.
Allison, you mentioned a game earlier when we were on break that's coming out for the PC.
Yeah, it's called A Hero's Call, and it's a immersive fantasy RPG made by Out of Sight Games. And I don't remember a whole lot about the premise, but I know I want to play it because they are actual people who used to be sighted game players who lost vision, and now they have wanted to develop a game that blind and sighted people could play together. And they had a Kickstarter. I was poor back when they had the Kickstarter, so I couldn't donate to it, but apparently people have been beta testing it, and it's amazing. And it's going to come out on December the 29th, which is a Friday. Yeah. So I know what my New Year's plans are going to be. Bottle of wine at A Hero's Call.
Isn't it ill-advised to drink and shoot?
It may be, but it's more fun.
I am looking for a game that gets me back into it, and I got wine.
Well, Hero's Call is going to be a game changer, literally. It's going to be great.
But it's only on the PC?
It's only on PC.
Now, is it something where, we could virtually, I could play virtually against somebody in another location, or...
I don't know that there's online play, but I think it's designed to be just a single player, and you complete quests, and apparently it's very in-depth. I'm all about that.
Yeah, are there any games on the Mac that you guys like playing? Because I don't play any games.
It's called Skype.
Yeah, Skype is its own game. So Mudability from iAccessibility is one that Michael Dwys just put out fairly recently. It's a Mud client that lets you play...
what is a Mud client?
So Mud clients let you play these text games, these internet-based text games called multi-user dungeons. And I haven't found one that doesn't piss me off after a while because a lot of them require grouping and working together. And I like that in my life and in my work. But when I want to play a game, I generally want to play. I just want to play by myself and figure it out. But I have tried it a couple of times, and it's definitely accessible and a good client. A Blind Legend, which is available on iOS, is also available on the Mac, and I want to try that because on iOS it had all these weird gestures you had to do to swing your sword and do all these things that I never could really get. But I'm thinking with the keys on the Mac, it might be easier to play. There are some options, but definitely looking forward to A Hero's Call.
I think the last video game I played that was not a sports video game was Zelda.
Ah, wow.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyhow, this has been a lot of fun. What do you guys, like I said, you got the Christmas coming up. You guys doing anything for New Year's?
Honestly, I don't like going out on New Year's anymore because it's
amateur night.
I just like to stay at home, and usually I end up playing some sort of game and having a couple of drinks and maybe watching the festivities on the television a little bit. But yeah, I'm not 21 anymore, so.
Yeah. I've done New Year's in New York City, Los Angeles, Las Vegas, South Beach. So that was during my younger days. And I remember the one year, this is one, I used to live 5 blocks from Times Square, and I had the flu on New Year's, and it was so loud in my apartment from the helicopters overhead, I had to go out to a bar to get away and drink with the flu. This was one of the coolest things I saw. My neighborhood bar, which was, basically right in the middle of all this, all the streets are shut down because of Times Square. They had their front door locked, so anybody they didn't know was not allowed in the bar. I went to I'm like, wait, they're closed? And then they came and opened it up, and they're like, no, we're only letting in regulars. And I thought that was the coolest thing. What about yourself there, Jeff? You getting wiggy and wild this New Year's Eve?
Just in my memories, I think. New Year's to me is, you just basically check out that the kids are not being stupid, in a sense, but they're pretty good. So it's just a quiet night. Like Allison said, it's just kind of one of those things it's kind of a free time. Kind of like with Christmas too, We just did our Christmas this last weekend, so our Christmas now is going to be a quiet one while everyone else does stuff. But yeah.
Got a Christmas party. I got to go to freaking Brooklyn, though. So that's going to be fun. We haven't really had anything exciting on New Year's since Y2K. Was that not the biggest letdown of all time?
I know, right? I was very disappointed.
3, 2, 1. Nothing.
Man.
I remember how panicky everybody was about that. Oh, my God.
What was the December 2nd? What was that glitch with Apple with that? They had to release that update right away.
Oh, because the dummies, they had this thing where you could get into a person's root user account. I forget what you had to do, but it was like super easy. So they had to release a patch.
You just had to try it multiple times. That's all. Yeah.
Yeah. I think you just had to hit login, and it would eventually. I never tried it, obviously, but I was happy when they came out with the patch.
Yeah, they've been making quite a few mistakes real quick.
They have. I'm worried about quality control issues at Apple, and I know we're running long, but I'm worried about quality control. It doesn't seem to be getting better.
No. I think they fired the entire quality control department.
I think they did, and they replaced them with monkeys. They need to fire the monkeys.
They're working on Skype right now, though.
Well, anyway, guys, I don't know if we'll record another one before the New Year, so if we don't, I'm saying happy Merry New Year, and that's little what was it, Trading Places humor there. But have a happy holidays and a Merry New Year to you guys, and to our listeners. You're probably doing more exciting stuff than us during New Year's, so just be safe and be careful. And if we don't see you again this year, we will see you in 2018, unless of course the world blows up. But for now, we are out.
The views and opinions expressed on That Blind Tech Show are not that of Blind Abilities. That Blind Tech Show is purely informational and entertainment value. We hope you enjoyed, and thank you for listening.
When we share
what we see through each other's eyes, we can then begin to bridge the gap between
the limited expectations and the reality of blind abilities.
The realities of blind abilities.
For more podcasts with a blindness perspective, check us out on the web at www.blindabilities.com, on Twitter at blindabilities. Download our app from the App Store, blindabilities, that's 2 words, or send us an email at info@blindabilities.com. Thanks for listening.